सुप्रभातम्। अद्यतनपाठः अस्ति तत् त्वम् असि। षष्ठः पाठः तत् त्वम् असि। See the heading of the lesson, पाठस्य शीर्षकं पश्यन्तु. Don't you think it is something weird, something special? Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. So what is that? So generally, have you ever asked a question, who am I? Or has anyone asked you so far, who are you? So this is one special lesson. Of course, this is there for exam, but I would say this lesson is more for your life rather than your exams. Of course, you have to write your exams, but remember this lesson throughout your life. It will show you a better path of life. That is what my opinion is. So, lesson Tat Tvam Asi is selected from the Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad. So, to understand Upanishad, I may have to give you a small introduction. So, ancient Indian texts are called as Vedas. Vedaha Santi. So, there are Tatra Chatvaraha Vedaha Santi. Hope all of you know. Rigvedaha, Yajurvedaha, Samavedaha, Atharva Vedaha iti. So, normally Vedic texts, they are not about any gods. Basically the five elements, Panchabhutani, Bhumihi, Apa, Analaha, Anilaha, Nabhaha. These five elements are the important topics in the Vedas. So basically Indians were nature worshippers. So how people led their life around these five elements, I can say in summary. This is the content of Vedas. So based on their time, at what based on the period of civilization, I can say they are listed as Rigvedaha. Rigveda comes first, very ancient civilization. Then Yajurveda, then Samaveda, and then Atharva Veda comes. So the last part of Vedic literature is Upanishads. As you know, India had oral tradition of education. It was always, knowledge was always passed through oral way from guru to shishya. So in the later years, I mean normally in 19th century, I can say, Vedic texts were printed and they were brought out in the form of books. Okay, so Vedas have basically its compilation of many shlokas, I can say, as I told you, about how people led their life, how our five elements need to be taken care, how they need to be worshipped. These kind of things are discussed in Vedas. And last part of every Veda is called as Upanishad. What is Upanishad here? Upanishads basically talk about personality development, I can say. So the mental health or the personality development is something not new to Indian civilization. We had always thought about it. We always thought human beings have lot of energy, lot of power inside them. If they decide to do something, they can do anything. Even the God is creation of humans, I can say, right? So you don't have to search God everywhere. God is inside you. You yourself can become God if you acquire certain qualities. How to acquire certain qualities, we should know who we are. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What I can do good, what I am not good at. These kind of things need to be known. Right? We need to know our personality. So these kind of topics are discussed in Upanishads. Upanishads are generally in the form of conversation between a teacher and student, or between two students, or any elderly person and another person. Always it is in the form of conversation. It is not that teacher says something and Shishya has to agree. No, sorry. We never believe in such tradition. Indian tradition always believes in discussion. So there should be arguments, there should be counter arguments, and finally both the parties should agree for the real truth. So there are many Upanishads, but 10 are major Upanishads. Their names are something like Kathopanishad, Kenopanishad, Prashnopanishad, Ishopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandukyopanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Brahadaranyaka Upanishads. There are many, but these 10 are major Upanishads. So this present lesson is selected from the Upanishad named Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishadatah एषः पाठः स्वीकृतः अस्ति तत् Tvam Asi. Very interesting lesson, very short lesson also, but very interesting lesson. Pataha Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. The meaning is you are that. Let's see what is that. That tat or that. What is it? Let us understand through this lesson. Maharshehe Arunehe Putraha Shvetaketuhu आसीत्. सो एकः महर्षिः आसीत्, तस्य नाम आरुणिः. सो आरुणेः, अत्र षष्ठी विभक्तिः अस्ति, आरुणीस्. ओके, सो तत्र महर्षेः विशेषण, आरुणेः विशेष. सो महर्षि ग्रेट सेज, महा प्लस ऋषि महर्षिः, आरुणेः आरुणि आरुणीस्, पुत्रः सन श्वेतकेतुः आसीत्. सो देयर वाज अ ग्रेट सेज नेम्ड आरुणिः and he had a son named Shvetaketu. Dvadasha varshiyam tam putram pita arunihi uvacha. So, when he was at the age of 12, Dvadasha varshiyam tam putram, see here, Visheshanas, Dvadasha varshiyam tam, Visheshanam, Visheshanadvayam, putram, Vishesha. Pita arunihi uvacha. One day, Aruni called his son, who was 12-year-old, and told him, Hey Shvetaketu Gurum Prati Gacha Adhyayanartham. So he called his son and said, so you are of the age to go to school. Hey Shvetaketu, O Shvetaketu Gurum Prati Gacha. So you need to go to school now. Adhyayanartham. Why do you need to go to school? Not to socialize, not to just spend time. Okay? For the purpose of studying. Adhyayanartham. Adhyayanam, study. So here we get a question. He is at the age of 12 and now he is going to school. So this is how Indian system was till the age of 8 to 12 years. Children were sent to school. There was no mass education that we see nowadays. Mostly it was a boarding school, boarding school. Children were sent to school, mainly boys. Boys were sent to school, sent to Gurukulas. Gurukula was a family of teacher. Gurukula is not like our modern schools. It is a home, actually, home of a teacher. So the teacher and his wife, his children used to stay in that home and they used to run Gurukulas. So children used to come and stay in their homes. They used to learn everyday life skills. They used to grow their own food. They used to do agriculture. They used to milk the cows. So whatever required for a human's life was taught practically in Gurukulas, not through books. As you know, we never had bookish education. It was always oral. And Guru's life itself was a book. So children used to learn through Guru's life, not through his words. So whatever Guru did in his life, that students used to follow. How nice, right? It is not just preaching someone to do. It is like acting, and by setting an example, Guru used to teach the students. So at the age of 8 to 12, some students used to go at 8, 9, 12, or maximum is 12 at the age of 12. So this Maharshi Aruni wants his son to go to Gurukula, to a teacher. He himself was a great teacher, but again, they never used to teach their own children. They always used to send a child to other teacher. Saumya asmat kulinaha anadhitya na bhavati iti. Yataha, Saumya, yataha, because you need to go to teacher for study. Once again, there is a reason. Yataha, because Saumya, a way of calling child with love. Okay, Saumya. Asmat kulinaha, family member. Asmat kulinaha, our family member. Anadhitya na bhavati. Anadhitya, uneducated. So Aruni is very proud of his family. All my family members are well educated people. So even you need to be educated. So because we never have a tradition of staying illiterate. Anadhitya, without education, na bhavati, never stays. So to continue the tradition, even you need to get educated. So go to a teacher. Saha putraha आचार्यम् उपेत्य यावत् 24 वर्षः अभवत् तावत् सः सर्वान् वेदान् सार्थान् अधीत्य पितुः सकाशम् आगच्छत्. So, Saha Putraha, tell me who is the Putra? Putraha is Shvetaketuhu. Acharyam Upetya, Acharyaha Guruhu, teacher. Another name for teacher. Upetya, Upetya Samipam Gatva. Please note down in your notebooks. Upetya Paryayapadam Asti Samipam Gatva. After going to teacher, after going to the teacher selected by his father, Yavat till Chaturvimshati Varshaha Abhavat. How long he stayed with this teacher? Chaturvimshati Varshaha, till he became the age of 24 years. So you can calculate, he went at the age of 12, he came back from teacher at the age of 24, means 12 years he stayed with his teacher. Abhavat, Tavat, till then, Saha, who is Saha here? Atra Saha Padam Shvetaketave Prayuktam. Saha is Shvetaketu here. Sarvan Vedan Sarthan. Sarvan Vedan. In the introduction I told you what are Vedas. So students used to study about Vedas. They used to recite Vedas. They used to by heart. They used to analyze. They used to understand the Vedic texts in schools, in Gurukulas. So Sarvan Vedan, as I told you, all the four Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. Sarthan, it is not just by heart he did. Sa plus Arthan, with meaning. He studied all the Vedas with proper meaning. He understood every bit of the Vedas. Adhitya, Adhitya after studying. Adhyayanam Kritva, Adhitya, note down. Pituhu Sakasham Agachat. He completed his education and he came back to his father, his home. Pituhu Sakasham, Sakasham Samipam. Again, note down in your notebooks. Sakasham Paryayapadam Asti Samipam Agachat. He came back to his home after completing his education. So Shvetaketu returned from Gurukula to his home. So now the story starts. Sahacha sarvashreshtaha aham iti manyamanaha uddhata swabhavaha abhavat. So what type of person Shvetaketu was? When he went to school, when he went to Gurukula, he was a simple boy of 12 years. But when he returned, he became a person with arrogance. He had in his mind, sarvashreshtaha aham. Sarvashreshtaha, the best. I am the best. He thought there is no person under the sun who is equivalent to me. I am the best, I am the great, I am the most knowledgeable person. So Sahacha, Saha, again here Shvetaketuhu, Sarvashreshtaha aham. I am the most knowledgeable person. I am the best person. Sarvashreshtaha, the best. Iti manyamanaha, manyamanaha believing. He is the person who believed this. Uddhata swabhavaha. Note down here, arrogant nature. Uddhataha, arrogant. Swabhavaha, behavior. Abhavat. He became such a person. As you know, the objective of any education is to make the person humble. After getting more education, we should become more humble. And we need to have a attitude like, I want to know more. But our Shvetaketu became the opposite. Evam bhutam putram drishtva pita uvacha. So father was shocked to see his son developing this type of attitude. Evam bhutam, evam is like this. So hope you know what is like this. What was the attitude of Shvetaketu? It was the arrogant nature, right? He was proud of himself. So that is evam. Evam is like this. The person who has become proud of himself. Bhutam, who became. Putram, that Shvetaketuhu, Drishtva, Drish plus Tva. After seeing, after observing his son becoming arrogant, Pita Uvacha. Aruni said, Pita Arunihi Uvacha. Uvacha is Avadat. So in the first line also this word has come Uvacha. So Avadat, he said, in old text, generally they use another type of lakara, is called as lit lakara. There uvacha is used for avadat. As you know, you are learning 5 lakaras. In that lang lakara that we use avadat. but both meanings are same. Uvacha means avadat. He said, हे श्वेतकेतु, कः ते उपाध्यायात् अतिशयः प्राप्तः येन त्वं कुलाननुरूपम् उद्धतः असि? So the shocked father and who was angry at his son, he asked, हे श्वेतकेतु, ओ श्वेतकेतु, कः ते उपाध्यायात् अतिशयः प्राप्तः? कः what? ते उपाध्यायात् from your teacher. Note down here, उपाध्यायः शिक्षकः. From your teacher. Atishayah praptaha. Atishaya is extraordinary. Praptaha, you have got, you have received. What extraordinary knowledge you have received from your teacher? Yena, because of that, tvam is Shvetaketu here, you. Kula nanurupam. Kula plus ananurupam, which is not suitable for my family. Kula is family. Ananurupam is not correct. Na anurupam, not good. As he told in the beginning itself, the family of Aruni is full of people who are well educated and who are humble. So he says, you are not suitable for my family. My family members are never arrogant like this. Kula nanurupam uddhataha asi. Uddhataha, arrogant. Why have you become arrogant, which is not at all suitable for my family? And tell me what extra knowledge you have got. Right? Whenever we get extra knowledge, we have to be arrogant, right? That I know everything. As such, Aruni himself is a great learned person. So he asks his son, what extra you have learned from your teacher so that you have become such an arrogant person? Janasi kim tat yena shrutena anyat ashrutam bhavat api shrutam bhavati amatam matam avidnyatam cha vidnyatam bhavati iti. So he asks one simple question to his son. Janasi kim, do you know that? He asks, do you know this fact? That thing. There is one thing in this world, that thing. Do you know that? What is that thing? Yena shrutena anyat ashrutam api shrutam bhavati. Yena shrutena, after hearing this, so students who are listening to this lesson, please listen carefully at this point, because the important point, the heart of the lesson is in these lines. Yena shrutena, by knowing that, by hearing that, there is one thing, by hearing that, anyat, other, ashrutam api shrutam bhavati. Ashrutam, which is unheard. Shrutam, heard. So we can hear things which are heard, right? But if you know that knowledge, even the unheard things are heard. Means even the things which you cannot hear, you feel like you have heard them. You know them if you have that knowledge. So do you have that knowledge? Aruni asks his son. Next, amatam matam. Matam is opinion. Amatam, no opinions. Even when there are no opinions about you, you will frame an opinion if you have that knowledge. Do you have that knowledge? Avidnyatam, vidnyatam. Vidnyatam, known. Avidnyatam, unknown. Even the unknown things becomes known things. Very hard, right? We have to work hard to make unknown things into known things. So Aruni asks his son, do you have that knowledge which makes you know the things which are unknown to you? What a great question, right? Do you have that knowledge by unknown things are known, no opinions become firm opinions, unheard things are heard. If you have that knowledge, you can say, I am the great person. Do you have that knowledge? He asks. Etat adbhutam prashnam shrutva pritchati katham iti. So son was really shocked. How unknown things can be known? How unheard things can be heard? Right? So he feels, alright, what is this kind of knowledge which makes you get all these things? Etat adbhutam prashnam. See the sandhi here? Etat plus adbhutam, etad adbhutam. Right? Adbhutam prashnam is like great question, amazing question. Adbhutam is amazing. Prashnam, question. Etad and adbhutam visheshana dvayam, prashnam vishesham. Shrutva, after hearing that, Shru plus Tva, Shrutva, Prachati, Katham iti. So he was surprised. He asked, how? How? What is that knowledge? I don't have that knowledge. So son says, Katham. How to get that knowledge? What is that knowledge? इत्युक्तः पिता अधोलिखितदृष्टान्तेन तत्त्वज्ञानं प्रतिपादयति. इत्युक्तः इति plus उक्तः पिता. So the father who was told like this by the son. So what was he told by the son? How? Katham. Katham is the response from his son. So father heard the question from the son, like how is it possible? Adholikhita drishtantena, adholikhita, which is written below in a question papers also you have seen, right? Adholikhita prashnan uttarata. Drishtantena, drishtanta is a conversation, a samvadaha. Drishtantena, through this conversation, tattva jnanam pratipadayati. Jnanam is knowledge, tattva jnanam is conceptual knowledge. Tattva is concepts. So he preaches, pratipadayati, he demonstrates, he preaches conceptual knowledge through this conversation. Very interesting conversation here. Shvetaketo nyagrodha phalam ahar. So they are sitting in front of their home under one Vatavrikshaha or the banyan tree. So Aruni says, Shvetaketo, O Shvetaketu, Nyagrodha phalam. Nyagrodha vataha or banyan tree. Phalam. If you might have seen, whenever you go for trips and all, please observe. The huge banyan tree has very small fruits, red color, very small fruits. The size of the tree is humongous, but the fruit size is very small. And inside that fruits, extremely small, the seeds can be seen. So he says, bring one fruit from the tree. Shvetaketuhu, idam bhagavan. So he says, yeah, I have brought it here. See, Bhagavan here is his father. He addresses his father like, oh God, Bhagavan. Because now he is surprised. What is that special knowledge which I don't have, right? So, idam Bhagavan, see this, here it is. Atra kim pashyasi. So, Aruni asks, what is it here? What can you see here? Anutarani imani bijani. So, he says, he opens the fruit. Anutarani. Anu is like atom. Anu is minute, small atom. Anutarani, like atoms. I know atom cannot be seen, but he gives an example. Like when we have to say extremely small, okay? Like very small. Anutarani, imani bijani. Bijani, the seeds. Very small seeds I can see, he says. Eshu ekam bijam bindhi. So I can give the example like poppy seeds. If you have seen poppy seeds, very small seeds. That type of seeds are seen in the fruit of banyan tree. So Aruni says, Eshu, among them, ekam bijam bindi. Very small seed. He says one seed you take and cut it. Break it open. Bindi, to break open. Shvetaketuhu bhinnam. Maybe he takes another stone and just crushes it. So he says, Bhinnam, yes, I have opened it. See here. Atra kim pashyasi. He says, what can you see here? Na kinchana Bhagavan. Shvetaketu is surprised. Just imagine, if you break a poppy seed, what can you see inside? Through our bare eyes, we can't see anything, right? So Shvetaketu says, na kinchana. Kim plus chana, kinchana, sandhi asti, Bhagavan. Kinchana, na kinchana, I can't see anything. It is just crushed seed. I can't see anything. But is it possible? Children, you start thinking. It is the seed of banyan tree, right? When we put the seed, a banyan tree comes, and you know how huge banyan tree is. Then, but when we open the seed, we can't see anything. So what does it shows? It shows the limitations of our vision. We cannot see anything doesn't mean there is nothing. There is something in the seed, right? Because when you put that seed in the soil, and if it's nurtured properly, definitely a small plant comes out. And if it allowed to grow, it will grow into a huge tree. And you know, the banyan tree never dies, right? It it hangs its roots down from the top and it goes on growing. It never stops, it never dies in reality. Then how can you say that in the seed there is nothing? So it shows only, it's only our limitation that we can't see anything. When we can't see anything, we say that there is nothing. But there is nothing? No, there is something, right? So idam shrutva pita putram uvacha. After hearing the answer of his son, father told his son, Hey Saumya, again Saumya is Shvetaketu here, calling son in a very loving way. Hey Saumya, Pasha atra vatabije eva mahan sthulaha shakhadiman nyagrodha vataha utpannaha santishtati. As I told you just now, Pasha, look here, atra here, vatabije, vataha nyagrodha paryayapada means banyan tree, vatabije, the seed of banyan tree, eva, in that only, mahan sthulaha, you all know how big the banyan tree will be, mahan, big, sthulaha, fat, it's like huge, right? Shakha diman, shakhaha, the branches, it has like wide, huge, big branches. Iman, nyagrodha vataha, the banyan tree, utpannaha san, utpannaha born. As I told you, if you put that seed into soil, it will be born. Such a huge tree is born from that seed when you open, which you cannot see anything, right? Sun being, it's being born, sun is being, tishtati. It stands there. It can stand, right? Evam animnaha sthulam jagat udbhavati. Similarly, in the same way, evam is similarly or same way, animnaha is atom. From the atom, animan shabda, panchami vibhakti is animnaha, from the atom, animan, okay? Animnaha sthulam jagat, big or huge world. So this huge world which we are seeing around, it is not created in one day or a week, or it is not created from a very big thing. It started all from a small creature. If you see the theory of evolution also, it says the same. In the beginning on this earth, very small things started. Then they grow huge, right? So from the small, big world is created. Udbhavati. See two sandhis here. Jagat plus udbhavati, jagad udbhavati, ut plus bhavati, udbhavati. Udbhavati, created. Huge world is created or any huge thing is created from the small. Vishvasihi he Saumya, saha eva atma. Vishvasihi, trust me. Vishwas dhatu is to trust. So keep your arrogance in a corner and start trusting me. Trust me. Vishvasihi. Hey Saumya, oh my dear son, sa eva atma. Atma are the soul. Atma means soul. That is called as soul. Soul of anything which we cannot see. But we can't say that it's not there. It is there, definitely. Sa eva atma. That is only called as soul. Tat eva sat. All other things are false. Only the soul is the truth. So tat is that soul which we cannot see, which is invisible. Only eva sat. Sat is truth. That is the real thing. That is the truth. Tat Tvam Asi. So who are you then? Don't think that I am the great. I know everything. But actually, who are you? Have you ever thought this? At this point, I want to ask you the question. Have you ever put a question, who are you? Generally, we all believe by the statements of others, by the statement of parents, elders, teachers, friends, neighbors, we frame opinions about you, about us, right? They give opinions. You are fat, you are tall, you are disciplined, you are indisciplined, you are very smart, you are extremely beautiful. Who gave those opinions, right? Others give us the opinions. But did we ever think, who am I? What are my strengths? If someone says that you cannot study this, okay, we decide, yes, I cannot study this. But have we ever asked us, what can I do? What can I study? That is me, right? So Aruni says here, Tat Tvam Asi, that invisible force is you. That invisible force called as Atma is you. So first you know about yourself. Then you develop the opinions about you. So the Atma of the banyan tree, which he gives the example, when it is nothing, but which can be grown into a huge tree, same way. And we are all, each one of us are part of that Tat. We have that inside us. Whenever we think of I, that feeling of I, it is not our body, it is not our outfit, it is not our vehicles, or it's not our books. The feeling I am feeling good, I am feeling sad. Have you ever thought about it or start introspecting? That I feeling inside you. That is that. Because it cannot be seen, so we use that Napumsakalinga word tat. Okay, so you are that. So stop believing in the statements of others. If people say that you are nothing, you are zero, don't believe them, because they don't know who you are. Only you know who you are, right? So Tat Tvam Asi. You are that great power. You need to utilize it. To utilize that, you need to leave away that arrogance. You need to stop thinking that I know everything, because when we think I know everything, our learning stops. We don't want to learn anything because we know everything, right? So stop doing that and start seeking knowledge. Try to explore yourself. That's what Aruni tells his son. To tell in a very simple way, I can say, generally we keep a role model in our mind, right? Oh, he is great, she is great, how great that person is, oh my god, right? Actually, that is only Tat. That imaginations we create in our mind, right? That is Tat. Even we can become like that only if we can put that much effort, or if first we should believe that I can do it. If you make you I as that thing, that your imaginations, you can become that great person. There is no limit. Anybody can grow like a banyan tree. Banyan tree is an example given here, it is a metaphor given here, which grows endless, which never dies. Similarly, our soul also, our capacities inside, humans have such huge capacity inside, which can never stop, which can never die, provided we should believe ourselves that I can do it. So, isn't it a great lesson? So, remember this lesson throughout your life. Start exploring yourself. Start putting a question. Aham kaha? Who am I? Then you will realize I am that. That great power which can be explored, and you can become that power.